evening, everybody. We welcome you all to the machine learning workshop conducted by Think Digital. So this will basically be the first process of our recruitment. So after this process, in order to become a part of our Think Digital family, you guys will have to make a mini project. By the end of these 2 days workshop, we will tell you what is the mini project and what's our like all the details regarding that. So you'll have to create a mini project, and after the mini project, You'll be given a buffer time of around 4 to 5 days. So once that's done, we'll have a project review round, and then after the project review round, then maybe a final interview round. And yeah, so once you get through all of this, you will be part of our Think Digital family, right? Okay. Also, I know this might be really hard for you guys because everything's online. I hope we get to have offline sessions like these. Until then, I mean, since we are having this online, please try to keep this as interactive as possible. Yeah, so it'll be like a give and take. And yeah, before we begin with the session, I just want to say something about us, about Think Digital. Right. So we are an official technical club of SRM filled with tech enthusiasts, or I can also say it as freelancers. Our main focus is on understanding the new products and services based on corporate, social, and individual needs. Right. Think Digital provides tech solutions for all of your needs. Right. Think Digital also provides tech assistance for your products, ideas, etc. Thus, we have a motto fulfilling the tech thirst. Right. So Think Digital also provides guidance for self-study. It helps you by bringing out the exposure of corporate culture and real-time projects. Yes, we do work on real-time projects. And we encourage individuals to be tech experts, not only on the stuff you already know, but also on the stuff you want to know, right? That is the only sole reason why we teach to all the interested and enthusiastic people, give you the exposure you need, and then recruit you guys based on your learning rather than based on the knowledge which you already have. And yeah, so based on your projects and how you're interacting in the workshop, all of this play a major role. So that's what we are looking for, right? So yeah, that was a little something about us. And today's session will be taken by Shikar Gupta. So yeah, over to you, Shikar.
So hi everyone, my name is Shikhar Gupta and I'm a third year student with a CSC in specialization with computer networking. So I hope that you all are doing well in this online classes, and let's hope that we can meet each other in coming months offline, because यार घर में बैठे बैठे सब बोर हो गए, ये तो सबको पता है. वो क्लासेस की बात अलग है, वरना वैसे तो कॉलेज लाइफ रुइन हो ही चुकी है. So our today's agenda is what is ML and intro to Python basics. So first we will talk about ML, then we will teach you about some Python basics. So what is ML? I want answers from audience. First, I want to know like how much you guys know about machine learning. Like whenever you hear this term, so what comes into your mind? So I want you guys to answer this question chat, or we want to say yes answers. Then only we can understand what you guys know about this term when you hear it for the first time. Can I go?
So can I?
Yeah.
So basically, machine learning is like a branch of artificial intelligence where we can train the model based on the data or data patterns and make decisions with it on.
Sorry to interrupt you. Your voice is not clear. Yeah.
Hello. Is it clear now?
There's so much static background noise. I cannot hear it clearly.
Okay. I'll just type in the chat.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I guess Sanskar wanted to unmute, right? You have an answer.
Yeah, I was saying like the term says machine learning. It's basically mean the machine is learning. Like we are teaching the machine to learn something and perform certain task.
Okay. I see so many responses in chat box also. Like Avasa has written that technology used to teach a machine to complete a task without manpower. It's partially correct. Machine learning from given data and making predictions. This was given by Alduru Leela. Set of algorithms to teach the machine with minimal human intervention. Krish, all these two answers are partially correct. Like Soham says, talking in layman's terms, it's a method or a process to train a computer to carry out certain tasks by feeding a machine with some data. Partially correct. Shivya Garg, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. A set of tool or making references and
Yeah.
prediction from data. Okay, so any more answers you guys you want to like type or say Chitta Jalu was wanted to say so.
So is
Anyone?
my voice clear now?
Yeah, now your voice is clear.
Yeah, so it's like basically training a model or something with the data or data patterns, and by making its own to predict from that data
Okay,
own decisions. Yeah.
yeah. So you all of the answers are correct, but they're partially correct. They are missing a key element, which is when they train, it uses patterns to learn. Yeah, like they learn from their mistakes also. In that portion, the machine learning, like we without human intention, we tell them if their accuracy is low of the model, they learn from their mistake. So this was the key element which was missing in those answers. Otherwise, all of the answers were correct, but they were partially correct. Let me show you the answer. Machine learning will take input, which is data, to make useful prediction decisions about previously unseen pieces of data. It will learn from its previous experience and then do some new work. For example, uh, if like if I have given you some 10 questions about any specific topic in maths, suppose differentiation, you guys will do it, and you will learn from it and do it. Sometimes you will do the mistake also, your answer will come correct, incorrect, then you will understand, then you will learn from it. And then when I give you some questions which were of differentiation but different questions which wasn't given to, and then I give it to give you to do solve it, and you solve that correctly. That's how our machine learning works. We have given them the data, they are learning from it. If there's any incorrect or they are unable to learn, they learn from their mistakes and then improve their accuracy. So this is machine learning. Is it clear for everyone? Like,
Exactly, Sanskar. It is very similar to how humans learn.
yeah,
Also, guys, just want to mention this that if you guys have any doubts in between, you could put it down in the chat box. However, we encourage you to unmute your mic and ask your questions, and it will be clarified then and there. So, yeah, if you have any doubts or questions, you're not clear with the concept, you could please do ask. We are there to clear your doubts.
you can raise your hand also. There's a option given in the Google, so you can raise your hand also. We will clear it out itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Machine learning is a subset of an AI. If you have learned the chapter sets in relation in mathematics, so machine learning is a part of an AI. AI is like whole samples, like whole big set, and machine learning is a small part of it. Okay, where the system learns to find patterns and an example in order to make predictions. So it's like part of AI. It's a subset of AI. AI is a huge thing. Machine learning is like small part of it, very small part of it. So It's a subset of you can say specific field of AI. So this is what we know about machine learning. And machine learning systems we can use for them, like for classifying a data. Like if I give the machine to tell me whether this is a pear or an apple. Okay. So from the previous data, it will see like, pear is in green color, apples in red color. So it will classify that, yeah, this thing, which this object which you have shown me, or picture you have shown me, it's an apple if it's red color. So machine learning are used, or like for predicting numerical values, like in stock markets, we the prediction of numbers, like what will the price of the stock next, is done by machine learning itself. Okay, like the you can understand it in that way. Like in general aptitude, you may have been given some questions of sets and sequences or series where some numbers are given, like 5 comma 10 comma 15 comma dash, find the next number, predict. So in this you're predicting what will be the next number. Same thing machine learning does, but it does for a complex situation and real life situation. Then clusters similar pieces of data together. This I will talk in next slide. But this and then infer association patterns in data. Machine learning, as you all guys were given response, yeah, they form the pattern in the data set which we have provided to solve many complex problems, and it makes a human work easy to understand. So this is all the use of machine learning. That's why we do. And even seeing and talking about it, it makes us feel excited, because this is a very, I would say, in my terms, which I feel like whenever I learn machine learning or AI, it makes me feel excited, because it's so good, feel and easy. Well, not easy, but yeah, it feels good. So, do you guys have any doubts or any questions regarding this? Please just ask us. We are here to clear it for you. Okay, so no doubts. Okay, then let's move forward. Machine learning is of three types. Okay, here I'm showing two. The third type will be shown as the next slide. Basically, it's three types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and semi-supervised learning. Okay, in supervised learning, model is trained on labeled data. Now, what is labeled data? Okay, let's talk about label data. Previously, I told you that if I tell them, give a machine or data set where I have told it that that apple or that object is pure on apple. So here I've labeled that this is the object. If it's green in color, then it's pure. This pure thing is called label. Here we know the output in the data set which we are providing. We know the output. So this is called labeled data. Okay, the model is trained on labeled data, and in unsupervised model learn patterns from unlabeled data. So in previous slide, I talked about clusters, similar pieces of data together. So this is for unsupervised learning. Sometimes we get some data set in which we don't know the output, but some data similar data points are there, and when we plot it in the graph, so we say a small group, or we call clusters, are formed. So from that, machine learning detects that this portion is another set of group, and it will mark it by its own, that these three are different clusters, these are different group. For example, in this image which you see, three images, okay, machine learning does not have its label, but it will see that These have different symbols in it, different symbols and different shape. For these two, a shape are same, but symbols are different. So it will create its own different cluster. That this is a one cluster, this is a second cluster, this is a third cluster. Where it would see a stop sign is sitting, it will automatically come in this group. Or these two small, tiny, puny humans are there, so this will come in this. So this is called unsupervised learning. So till here, we do you guys have any doubt about labeled data or unlabeled data? Just ask us.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Ask.
Yeah, how will machine learn from unlabeled data? We have to tell the machine, like we have, if we're showing some sign like the stop on, we have to tell it the stop sign. If
Yeah,
it's unlabeled, how
yeah.
will the machine learn?
It's unlabeled. Okay, you have provided some data in the graph. It will get plotted like some different point. Because see the data which we provided now are all in numerical form. Okay, even the image we are providing, it's all in numerical form, and it's like very deep. Let's not go more, but so when the machine will see, it will automatically turn it into another cluster. That's why unlabeled. See, in label, you can see is a stop sign. One, this is the stop sign, which I've it's written in Chinese or Korean. I don't know which language it's written in, but yeah, I've told it that it's stop sign 2, it's stop sign 3. But if there was no label in it, okay, there was no label, so only whenever it will see a stop sign, this will only go to this cluster, and these three will be forming another difference cluster because that machine won't know because it's not labeled. But when it's if it sees similar patterns from unlabeled data, then it will create another cluster and then solve it. So
I would like to add on to that, like with just a small example, right? So like if you have an apple and an orange, like let's say you don't know that apple is an apple, orange is an orange, but then if you look at it, you can differentiate, right? Okay, this is some kind of fruit, and this fruit is different from this fruit. It's a different kind of fruit. You can differentiate by looking at it, even though you don't know whether this is apple or this is orange, right? Does that make sense? Whoever asked the question.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
model does the same thing. Like it doesn't know that this is an apple or this is an orange. It'll just group all the apples because they look similar. It'll group all of them as one group. It'll group all the oranges, even though it doesn't know it's an orange, to one group. And then in the end, we programmers, I mean, whoever like ML engineers, we can take the groups and check, and then be like, okay, so all these are just apples. Let's give it the name apple. We'll do it later on. So yeah, that's how it is. You learn from differences from the objects. That's
Okay, okay, got it. Got
yeah.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
okay, so now let's move forward. So this is the machine learning process. So let me tell you process. User will give provide like give data. Okay, the data set which we say na, that we give the data. Data is collected from like from all like internet, the from the user's experience, and all the data is collected. For example, in this which is written define objective. So our objective, for example, is to find out whether this object is uh, a apple or a banana. Just say okay. So the user will like give you data that if that's this long yellow color, this is banana. If it's spherical in shape and it's red in color, this is apple. So the machine will collect all this data, then it will train itself. Train and test model is like we what we do in train and test model is when a data set is given, we divide a data set into two parts. Some portion for training, some portion for testing. For example, if I give you 100 questions of any sorry for maths only, I give you 100 questions. and your brain is so good that you learn all 100 questions, you know the answer of them, and when I ask you from those questions, you give me the answer quickly. But I don't know that I cannot tell that like it's accuracy. Like because you have learned from it. If I give you some another different question, will you able to learn from it or not? So what we do is in this 100 question, we give you 70 questions to train from it and 30 different questions to test you, like whether you have understood how to do the things or not. So this is known as train and test model. In ML also we do the same thing. We give we give a data set split into two parts: test training data and test data. Training data from which the model will train itself, and test data where we will using to test model, and from that we will get to know the accuracy. You can say the next final step is predict and evaluate, is that we will ask the model to predict the test model and give us the output, and on the basis of that we will evaluate its accuracy. And if the accuracy is not satisfactory, we again give it the model data and again ask to train itself, and again we repeat this process till it's that its accuracy is improved. This is the machine learning process which we do. So I hope it's clear. If you have guys any doubts, please just ping us or ask it right now.
Guys, any doubts?
Any doubts? Like, did you guys understand this question? This portion? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Hi everyone. Just a second, Shikar. So, like the workshop is going well. I just had a question then, since everyone's understanding things really well. So, can anyone tell me what's the importance of training, like splitting the data set into the train and test model? Shikar just discussed it now. So, if any of you can, recap on that.
So that we can improve its accuracy. We never know that the data which we are providing to the machine will it be able to predict with same accuracy for other set of data. That's why we split. Like the sir said that he
Okay.
gave 100 questions, but he is not
Yeah.
sure that whether the student will be able to answer the question which are asked from another set of 100
Right.
questions. So that's why.
Okay, that's great. Great answer, Dhruv. So, anyone else would like to try? Anyone? Okay, so we have some answers in the chat. Shivya says to make the model learn through training set and testing it through testing. Yeah, that's partially correct. So we train the model with our training data set, and then we predict the values, like what values predicted, we check those with the test data set to see how accurate our scores are. That's the reason we split the data set. Okay, to check whether it's really working. Yeah, that's there. Basically, we just we split it so that we can understand how our model or how our data is behaving. That's the reason behind that. So one more question then for all of you. Can anyone give me a few examples of where we can use machine learning?
Since the pandemic is going really great, we can use ML for seeing in CCTVs where we can see that people are wearing their mask or not. The ones who are not wearing their mask, like we
Okay,
can detect.
that's a good thing. But machine learning, I don't think that would be exactly a part of machine learning. That would be something a
Deep
bit
learning.
different. You could say so, yeah. So that's also a good example. But anything else? A bit more
Refining search engines.
search engine. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, search engines. Any other
Product
simpler?
But
products.
Varishta wrote
Yeah,
Continue.
Ashwini, go ahead.
No, you continue.
So like for to understand how well a product is going to do in the market, like
Okay. Yeah.
there must be previous you can use you can input data, and then you can use the training and testing model to check which audience is using with what kind of products, like if it's in like if it's
Right.
categorized in range and like age wise, or gender wise, or uh, basically
Understood. Yeah.
target audience. Finding your target audience will become easier.
Right. Yeah, that's also a good one. And yeah, someone said image recognition and predict stock prices. Yeah, all these are correct. Detection as well. Yes. So from all your answers, like I just want a keyword that I'm looking for a keyword basically. All of your answers are leading to a certain keyword. Can anyone guess that word?
Pattern
Finding
recognition.
pattern.
Pattern
Yeah,
recognition.
what finding what is like you're finding, but then what are you doing apart from that? So you find using your trained data set, but with your test data set, yeah, prediction, exactly. So
Yes.
machine learning is you find certain you find certain patterns, algorithms, you find that, and then you use that to predict the future data. That's the point of ML. Because if you find patterns and you don't use them, what's the use of it, right? So there are so many applications of ML, like credit card fraud detection, and like as many of you mentioned, there are so many applications. So that's the basic idea of ML. And yeah, in this workshop, we'll just be covering the basics. So by the way, I want to know like how many of you have an idea of ML or you have done ML before, or is this the first time for everyone?
This is
Okay,
first time for me.
I guess everybody's just beginning with
just
them.
beginners. Okay, cool.
Good.
Yeah, because your responses, sounded a bit good, so I thought you guys had an idea before. That's great, you guys at least have a basic idea. So that will make things easier for you. Yes, sure, we can continue.
Okay. So now let's continue. So these are the terms which is very important for machine learning, like label, which I talked earlier. Label, it's an answer for a prediction task, either the answer produced by a machine learning system or the right answer supplied in a training set. In layman's term, like in that cats and dogs example, if you take, like, I'm asking a machine learning to tell me whether it's a tag or a dog or a cat. Okay, sorry, dog or a cat. So this dog or cat which I've used, it's the label. And features, like how will you tell if the or how you will differentiate between a dog or a cat? Like a dog will bark, okay, it will eat bones, and also these things which we talk about, these are called feature. Okay, these are feature. And the model which we are talking about are like model, it's it's like a prediction task. It is a representation of a prediction task. Like, it's from the data set, it has gathered data and formed the pattern. But how it's forming the pattern? Using the functions in a model. This is model. So these are the basic terms which we use in machine learning. And I would like suggest like you guys to take the, if you want to take a screenshot of this portion, it will be easier for you guys to understand. So I am waiting for you guys to take a screenshot of for this particular thing for you to learn. I will just wait for 5 minutes. If like you guys take the screenshot.
So you guys are going to come across these terms regularly. So I mean, every time you don't need to Google and check it out. So like, so if you have something as a reference, so you guys can go back to it again and again.
It will be easier for you. It has
Yeah.
same examples and using only one example, it's explaining all the terms in it, given in it. So if you guys want to take a screenshot, you just take. I'm waiting for like 2 to 3 minutes. So you guys take the screenshot. And if you have guys any doubts, do ask.
I have a doubt.
Okay. Yeah, ask please.
What's the difference between label and feature?
Label, like in dogs and cats only. For example, I'm taking dogs and cats. Okay, we have to tell him whether it's a dog or a cat. So that dog, which I'm specifying, giving it a label that yeah, this is a dog. That's the species which is standing in front of us is a dog, or like if it's cat, it's a cat. You are like giving an output answer, like it's an answer for a prediction task. If you, I read you that thing, the line which is given in the PPT, an answer for a prediction task. The the model has predicted that this is a species dog or a cat. So the answer which is coming is that it is a dog. Dog term is a label.
See, okay, one easy example. So your cat is your label, but then the ear of your cat or the nose of your cat will be the feature. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it makes sense now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that like label is the on the whole, feature is just small parts of it. That's it.
Varish wrote label is basically naming and features are basically features of the yes.
Yeah,
That's
you're
it.
right.
Any more doubts? So have you guys took the screenshot? Can I move on? Like, please do respond.
Just give a yes in the chat box.
Guys,
Yes.
please with this like interactive session. Okay, yes. Okay, let's move on. Now we come for a third type of machine learning. That is semi-supervised machine learning. Okay. So any of you have any idea about semi-supervised machine learning? If you have guys any, like, how many of you know what's this, what it is? Anyone? Like raise a hand or just write in a chat box. Guys,
Guys, you guys know
if
supervised.
you
You guys
don't
know
know, you
unsupervised.
write no also. Yeah, Chitta Jalu wrote a combination of both supervised and unsupervised. Yes, yes, yes. So I didn't understand what the voice wrote. I guess it's when we are involved in it too. I don't understand what do you want to say? Like I'm unable to get that. Can you like please more elaborate? Like do you want to say?
I guess it's when we as people are involved in the learning of the, like, I don't know how to say it. Like, we help in the learning of, I guess, the finding of patterns or something like that.
No, we never like we intervene if we are us humans only intervene in learning of the model is by data clean. That's all. Like if there's a
Oh,
data
okay.
which we have to clean it because sometimes the data are if they are no useful, we create that data. That's all we can intervene. But the learning portion is up to model learning. That's not
All right,
our
all right.
okay.
All right, got
So
it.
so I've got so many responses. So thanks guys. Now let me tell you about the semi-supervised ML. As you have written it, it's a combination of supervised and unsupervised learning, machine learning methods. It's correct, but Let me once again tell you the difference between supervised and unsupervised. Supervised machine learning, you train a machine learning algorithm on a labeled data set in which each record includes the outcome information. So the algorithm help deduces a pattern and identify relationship between your target variable. Target variable means the output, and the rest of the data set based on the information. It means feature which we talked earlier. And in unsupervised learning algorithm, learn from a data set without the outcome variable. Till now, you have understood. Now we talk about semi-supervised. In this, an algorithm learns from a dataset that includes both labeled and unlabeled data, but usually mostly it has unlabeled data. It has more unlabeled data as compared to labeled data. There was a response in the chat in which some Dhruv said maybe some data will be labeled and some of them not. Yeah, most of them will be unlabeled. So this is semi-supervised learning. But you might wonder like why this type of machine learning was created or it's important. So it's simple that you have don't sometimes we as a machine learning engineer we don't get a labeled data and we don't get an accurate model, and it happens most of the time, but or we don't have the resources to get more data. So in semi supervised technique we to like increase our data to training data so that our model can learn and our accuracy of the model can improve. Okay, so it's like for example, I've given an example to detect a fraud for large bank. Okay, some fraud you might know. Okay, the but some you won't know whether this message or this is just a fraud or not. So you can label the dataset with the fraud instance. You are aware because we know that this thing is a fraud, but sometimes we are not. So the rest of the data will be unreliable because we don't know whether it's a fraud or not. So we use semi-supervised learning algorithm to label the data which was unlabeled, retrain the model with the newly labeled dataset. Then we apply the newly like the model which we have retrained now with new data. Our accuracy will increase. Are you guys getting my point? First, we got the data set in which some of the data were labeled, some of them were not labeled. Okay, like you are giving let fraud. I will talk about fraud, but not in bank, in email. Sometimes you get a spam mail. Sometimes you might no. So some of the Gmail sometimes block some mails which and identify it as a spam. Yeah, it's a spam. But sometimes it's unable to detect the spam and still we get it. And there are many times like Google is sending us a mail which was not a spam in Gmail. So how can it train itself? By telling it that this is a spam. So in this semi-supervised also we are doing the same thing. We are labeling the data, okay, and retraining it so that the model now understand from its experience. Okay, now these type of the things are also fraud or spam, and next time if it comes again, I will detect it as a spam and put it in the spam folder. So this way, our accuracy is increasing and our work is done. So any doubts here? If you have any problem understanding semi-supervised machine learning, I can explain it again. Just ask us. I'm happy to explain it.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
You said that a huge amount of data in comparison is.
Your voice is coming very low. Can you say it again?
Is my voice clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear.
You said that in the data set, unlabeled data is more compared to the labeled data.
Sometimes.
And Yeah, sometimes. And you said that you retrain the model with newly labeled data set.
Hmm.
So on what basis the unlabeled data is labeled?
That do you remember the clustering part which we taught earlier, previous slide?
Okay.
It's a combination of both supervised and unsupervised, right?
Yes. Yes.
So in unsupervised, we have unlabeled data, but
Okay.
after that we train it and labeled it. Huh? So we are because we are using both supervised and unsupervised, and
Yes.
then after retraining, so our so then it will understand that it's a fraud or not. Any more questions?
Also, guys, in the meantime, I just want to let you know that we have we have some resource or some kind of bonus for you at the end of the workshop. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Any more doubts? Right? No, no doubts. Okay. So this till there we wrap up about the ML. Now we will have a small fun quiz Kahoot. So we will be providing you a link. Open this link in your mobile phone and in lap. Uh, you guys have joined the meet through your laptop, right? Uh, uh, anyway, there's a question. Sorry, just wait a sec. There's a question from Vasal, and we will use supervised learning on a retrained model. Yeah, we will using them that retrained model supervised learning. Okay, okay. Then I'm sending you this link. Open.
I'm sure all of you know how Kahoot works. So just join through your mobile. The question will be displayed on the screen, and you could answer from your mobile. So you need two devices for it.
Okay, I'm just sending you this link. Open it in your mobile phones. Okay. I'm sharing my screen for the game pin. Can you see the pin?
Yeah, Shikhar. I guess they can see.
Okay, then let's just wait for 5 minutes for everyone to join.
Also, guys, just a notice. Please try joining using your real names.
Yeah, that would be very helpful for us too.
Yeah, it'll help us recognize all of you. So yeah. Anybody else? Like, are you guys facing any issues? Anybody yet to join? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Eh, Um, if anybody is left to join, please do join. We'll be starting the quiz now.
Only 16 members have joined. So any more guys? Shall we start or wait for some more to join?
Shikar, I guess you can start now. I think everyone's there.
Okay, let's start then.
So, guys, the question is written on top as well, and these are the options. You have to just select the color, in your screen. That's it.
I hope you can see the question and options in your phone. Okay. So 14 students have given correct answer. So on top we have Som Bhattacharya, then Divyanshu, Sakshi and Happy Gazelle 57, and Hitesh. Great job, guys. Next question. Okay, 16 students are given correct answer. Only one has given C language. Let's see who topped the next round. Divyanshu and Soham And then Happy Gazelle, Sakshi, and Hitesh. Great, nice. Okay, seven of the people have given correct answer. Let's move on. Next, Div- Divyanshu has a streak of three correct answers. Well done, Divyanshu. Leela, Sanskar, and has Aishwarya has scored up, and Soham. Nice job, guys. Okay, so 15 of students have given a correct answer. One has given the answer 9. Great. So let's see who scored. Divyanshu is still at top. Then Leela, Sanskar, Aishwarya, Soham. Let's move to the next question. So 16 of them have given the correct answer. Divyanshu is still at top. Then Leela, Aishwarya, Sanskar, Hitesh. Good. Only 5 of the students have given the correct answer. Let's see who are they. So at top, it's still Divyanshu, Leela, Dhruv, Aishwarya, and Sanskar. Okay. So 13 students have given the correct answer. So Divyanshu is still at top. Then Neela, Dhruv, Aishwarya, and Sakshi. Divyanshu is still at top. Neela, Dhruv, Sakshi, and Sanskar. And Harsh has a streak with 7 correct answers in all. Way to go, Harsh. The answer is feature vector. Feature is a column name. Feature vector is a data. The data which we store inside it. So only one of them has given a correct answer. Divyanshu is still at top. Leader group Sakshi and Sanskar following. The last question. 11 people have given the correct answer. So at third place, Sakshi. Congratulations, Sakshi. Second place, Neela. First place is Divyanshu 1509. And then at fourth place, Sanskar, and fifth place, Ashwarya. Congratulations, guys. So this at this point our quiz ends now. This is a Google Colab notebook. Okay. What's a Colab notebook is? This thing where can you see my cursor? Can you see my cursor here? Where this in this portion which I have written addition. This is a cell. Okay. So here I run different type another program, and here I run another program, which make us code very easy, and it's only available for Python, not C and C++. And in Python, you can directly write a number. Say here I've written 2 plus 1. Okay, but if we were coding in C++ or C, I hope that majority of you know C language. Like, you in I think going to second year, so you must have studied PPS, C language, right? Guys, just please respond. And those who have raised their hand can lower their hands. Okay, no problem. So in C, your code was usually like this: int a is equal to 2, int b is equal to 1, int s equals to a plus b, and there was one more thing: semicolons. Then you run it, printf, and that printf s. As you can see, this is a whole C language. Okay, C language. And what we just needed to do was add these two numbers, and it took like this much of things, and especially this. In Python, you can just write 2 plus 1 and run it. Okay, and anyway, it might take some time when it's first running, then it will work. C 3. In here, we can just do direct addition. That's all. Instead of writing this whole code and putting int and this termination, this semicolon, this termination, instead of just 2 plus 1, 3. Similarly, we can do that for subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay. There's actually shortcut for this, like for addition. So this is in Python. It's there's a very good feature in this. We don't need to write int and then tell a variable that a is equal to 10. There's nothing need to do that. Just simply take a variable a and assign the value to it. That's all. And the shortcut for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division is plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, and divide equal to. And I've done here. I have taken here, it means literally a is equal to a plus 10. This line means this, but this is a shortcut, and I run it, and this is just wait a minute. I have to first run this cell because I have assigned this value. Now a is defined, and when I run it, a is equal to 20. Similarly, we can do this for multiplication. 40, because since our a value updated 20, so a got multiplied by 2. Here our value was 20. That's why it happened. Otherwise, If I would have not run this cell and directly run this cell, then our answer would have been 20. Now come floor division. When we did the division now, 3 divided by 2, we got a decimal 1.5. What if I didn't wanted to have this decimal? So we put this two division signs. And when I run it, 7 divided by 4, 1. But if I would have written like 7 divided by 4, 1.75. This is known as floor division. These two operators, the two forward slashes, which just truncates means remove the decimal without rounding and returning, and like it won't round, it will just remove those decimal and just give you an integer result. And what if we want a remainder, we do this percentage sign. This will give us a remainder. See, 3. If we divide 7 by 4, our remainder is 3, and this is a basic arithmetic. Now, if in C language, to do a power, we used to import a library math and math.pow 3, 2 and all. But simply, you can use the power using this 3. These two multiplication, you can say asterisk sign. Here it means, in common I'm telling you, 2 to the power, 2 to the power 3. And when I run it, 8. You can do the square root by this way also, like square root 0.5. As you know, I run it. Now, order of the operations followed in Python. If I run this, okay. So what happened? It's simply following the BODMAS. Multiplication first and then addition. Okay. But if we use the parameter parenthesis, then our answer will be different because of BODMAS. I know you guys, some of you know this, but it's like it will be easy for us to tell you. Okay. So now we talk about variable assignment. Till now, do you guys have any doubt? Like some portion which you didn't understand? Any doubt? No? Shall I continue? So now variable assignments. Now that we have seen in Python, you can like see, yeah, I have created a variable and assigned the value. Just straight away, that's it. Nothing else we have to write. Int a is equal to, and you must have noticed there is no this termination sign, which was like if you would have put it applied in a C or C++ or Java, it would give you an error and all, but this does not require that. Simply run this. A is equal to 5, value of a is being given. Now I'm adding the two objects. Then I can reassign it. If I want to reassign here, for example, changing 20, I'm reassigning the value of a. I can do that again. Python will run it is at 20 because I have reassigned. It won't look at that here it was 5 and I have done a plus a and the answer got 10. It won't look back. I have reassigned the value 20, it will take it as a 20. Python will allow you to write over assigned variable name many times. So if a, say, a is equal to 20, okay. Previously I did a plus a, but we didn't assign that value to a. Now assign here my value for a was 20, okay. So I'm assigning a value that a is equal to a 20 plus 20. Now our value will be 40. So in Python, variable assignment is very easy. There's like it's like you don't have to do it again. If for example, here my value of a is 20 for 40, right? I go here again, I run it again. That no, I want my a value to be 5, and I run it again. See, I reassign my value of a, now it's 5 again. So till here, do you guys have any doubts? No doubts? Okay. Now let's talk about if and else statement. And here's a small thing which we need to keep in mind. You must have known these conditions from mathematics. A for condition that a equal b means if a is equal to b, a not equal to b, a is less than b, or less than equal to b, greater than b, a is greater than b, a is greater than equal to b. I hope you guys know. Okay. Now for my if statement, there is a one most important thing in Python. This is the syntax of our if. Okay, and we need to put this colon. After colon, when I press enter, you must have seen this small space. Okay, this is known as indentation in Python, and it's very important. It's very important. If we don't ident our statement like this, it will give us error. For example, I haven't given a space over here, and I run my code. It won't run, and see the error is given indentation error, expected a indented block. Indented means space block. So it can be corrected. Just press this tab button, and when you see indented, a small line, you can see a small line over here. Is it visible to you guys? This small line. This means I have indented my code. Okay. So if when I run this thing, see my now code is working and b is greater than a because of this condition. In C and C++ or any language, you must have written else if then else if. But here we use elif, not else if, elif. For example, this was my first condition. I want to add another condition. Like if previous condition is not true, then try this condition. And here I put it a is equal to 33, b is equal to 33. Let's see if b equal. See, always remember, whenever this colon comes, it means there need to be an indentation, a space. And actually, it's not a single space, it's a two space. For that, for you not to get confused, just press a tab button. That's all. Okay. And in C and C++, you usually used to code like this, curly brackets, right? Okay, curly brackets. But instead of curly brackets in Python, we are using this. So now you can understand like how much easier it is, because if there was a bracket missing or something like in C, and it used to be very difficult for the programmer to find a error. So this is how we do. We just need to put a colon and ident it over here and run it. Now there is an else statement. Else keyword, I hope you know, but for the beginners I'm telling you, else keyword that catches anything like if you have given above conditions, b is less than a, for this example, and is equal to b. But if my condition does not situation does not match these two conditions, if my situation does not match these conditions, then we put a else. Okay, if like a is to 233, b is not greater than a in this scenario, and it's not a and b are both are not equal in this scenario, so then we put the else. because if some condition is not preceding or caught by the previous two condition, we just simply put a else, and when we dry run it, A is greater than B. So till here, if you guys any doubt, please ask, because this is a very important thing in Python. If and else and then while loop and for loops. This is the most important thing because identification thingy is important. So if you have guys any doubts, please just ask. Any notes like you, if there's any portion you didn't understand, just feel free to ask. We will be happy to clear your doubts. And those of you who have raised your hand can unraise their hands, or if or those hands will be raised for doubts, then just ask. No doubts, guys. Please at least respond yes or no. Like, should I continue? Okay, no doubts. Then okay, let's continue. Now we come to while loops. While loop, do you know loop? What a loop is? Repeating a one thing again and again. You must have heard in a movie, seen a movie, time loop. Has anyone watched like Doctor Strange? If anyone has watched Doctor Strange, you would have known that they were, and at the end, there was a time loop. Things were repeating again and again. Yes, you have that. So, but many of you have watched Doctor Strange, right? Okay, in easiest term, what there was a villain, Doctor Strange, who put in a time loop, and he again come in a simple again this loop until and unless his condition was fulfilled. That's what happened, right, in the movie. So this is what while loop is. It will execute that set of statement as long as its condition is true. Okay, there's a slight change that its condition is true. When its condition will won't be true, it will get out of the loop. That's simple. Plus, there are slight difference in Doctor Strange analogy and this analogy. It will execute the statement again and again where its condition is true. For example, I've initiated my value I is equal to 1, and my condition is that I want my values I to be printed which is less than 6. Okay, so and I have put it I plus equal to 1, so that the value of I is increased. Otherwise, it will stuck in that loop. For example, I just put it as in a comment. I run it. It won't stop. It will run because I have put the condition I is less than 6, and I's value is not increasing, so it will not stop running. So that's why we put this statement. Now I run. Okay. Now you can see my initial value of I was 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. When it I was value was increasing, when it came 6, I is equal to 6 but not less than 6, so it stopped. The loop was terminated. Similarly, I have wrote in this another program. My aim is to add natural numbers up to some. Like there's a n. I have assigned my n to be 10. Okay, I want to add all the natural numbers starting from 1 to 10, and I have initialized these two variables sum because we need a sum, and this is sum is equal to 0 and I is equal to 1, and this is a loop. Okay, so you can see there is a indentation error. I have put an indentation error. If I run this now, see what will come. It might work, but sometimes when there's an indentation error, it won't work. Like some, uh, I did what is sum is equal to 0. My i's value is 1. So 0 plus 1, sum's value is 1. And I value was 1, it will get increased. Then it will go up. Then it will see if I is less than equal to 10 or not. But my i's value is 2, so it satisfies the condition. Now my sum's value is 1, so it will keep on adding and updating. So my sum is 55. For example, I want uh, I want the user to write the sum, write the number, not sum, number of his own choice. So this is the statement which we use. Int C, input is used to is a function to use to take any input from the user in the form of a string. Okay, so if basically if I wouldn't could have this int function now, so whatever value I would have written about n, it would have been string. So I put an int value. So whatever with the value I wrote, now it will come in the form of integer. So I just run it. It asks me to write the value of n, and I suppose write it 20. Okay, and I press enter. See, it took my value and then it applied it over here and run it. This thing which you have seen, this is comments. The compiler won't read this in C++. This way you used to put a comment, or this way. In Python, we use this to put this a comment. So this is a comment. The compiler won't read this. It's just for us. Compiler, we read this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, or this line, but not this, because it's a comment. It's just for us. And if suppose your comment is more than a one line, so we put this 3 single quotes, and this is also a comment. Okay. Now there's you can use else loop. Here I've initiated a value of a counter. It's for this example. Okay, and the condition is if it's less than 3, it's inside loop. Okay, so it will run 0, 1, 2. When, and the value of counter is also updating. When it will come 3, the loop will terminate it, and it will print out inside else. Sorry for the disturbance. So when I run this, you can see inside loop, inside loop, inside loop, inside else. Here the value 0, 1, 2, 3 is less than 3. No, it's equal to 3. So the loop was terminated and it came to else, because it does not for right. It was not able to follow the condition which was given. So else loop. So till here we wrap up this while loop session. Do you have any doubts regarding while loop? Yeah, Varish, yeah, I know that was a coolest scene of MCU. I know that we are talking about Doctor Strange, right? Yeah, no doubt, Leela. Okay, anyone else? Everyone. So shall I continue?
Guys, if you guys have any doubts, please do ask, clarify, because tomorrow's sessions will be a build up on these sessions. You can't work with ML as long as you're not clear with basic Python concepts. So if you guys didn't understand anything, or if you guys have any doubts, please do ask, because then if you're not clear with today's session, then you'll be facing trouble in tomorrow's session. So yeah,
Krish,
please keep your basics strong.
Krish, we will be providing links for these resources. Okay, so for that, from there you can understand the Python basics. Okay, so we will be providing you the link. So no doubts. Then let's continue. Shall I continue? Just say yes or something. Okay, let's continue. Now let's come and then let's talk about for loops. Okay, in for loops, there's a slight difference. Okay, this is a list which I will talk about like in next further. Like right now, consider this as like an array for right now, just an array, and it has these elements. Now, those of you use C and C++, you know how to uh, take array like for uh, for int I is equal to 0, then I is वगैरह वगैरह we type like this. Okay, so just get the elements from the array or a list. In here in Python, that's not the case. For x in fruits means x denotes this element, particular every elements of every array, and it will run till it reach its end. For example, I'm printing the values in the array. Right now, just take it as an array. Actually, it's a list, and I will talk about further. So for you not to get confused, I'm saying it as an array. It's a list. See, for loop is used for iterating over sequence. Either a list sequence. See, this is a sequence. From that you can understand it's a sequence. A list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string, which I will be teaching you in next few moments. So X is apple, banana, cherry. So for X in fruits, X for in first loop X will be this, then in second loop X will be this, in third loop X will be this. And after that, it will see that there's nothing else, so it will terminate the loop. And yes, you can see print X. In first loop, it's printing apple. In second loop, it's printing banana. It's third loop, it's printing cherry. Now range function. Range function, it runs a sequence of numbers starting from 0 by default. Here, I've like 0, it will increase by 1 and ends at a specified number. Let me show you. So this is for X. This is a loop. Na? It will run in a loop. I run it. As you can see, initial is 0. If initial is 0, we could have written like this also, 0. But by default it's 0, so we don't like this. Until and unless we want to start our function like from 1 or 4, then we write this. So what it does is, range function will say, okay, till number 6, from 0 to before the number I have written 6 na, it means from 0 till the number before 6 I have to take that numbers and consider it. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is not there, because it is till it will run. It won't consider it till it will run. Like if I run for X in range 2 to 6, so it will start from 2, but before 6 it will run. The numbers which are before 6 it will run. I've put 16 for example. See, it will run from 2 to 15. Before 16, the numbers before 16, it will run till that. And since it's a loop, so again and again it will increase, because in like in for statement there used to be a in third condition I plus plus, remember, or I minus minus I. There used to be like that in C, C++, or Java, whatever language you have guys know. In this, it's happening automatically. Okay. Now, right now, I told you I plus plus and I minus minus. It's happening automatically. But I want to specify that I want to skip 3 values. Okay. My value starts from 2, but I want to skip 2 values. So I run it like this. As you can see, it is skipping three values, 2, then 4, 3, 4, then 5. It is skipping two values, I'm sorry. And then, like this, it's running. So, like defaults to increase, it's, see, the range function defaults to increments the sequence by 1, which I have told you earlier. It is possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter. This is a third parameter. I'm adding for 3, the 2 plus 3, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. If I would have written 4 and then on it. So it will like add 2 plus 4, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. So this is how it will run. Till here, do you guys have any doubt? Because I know like for beginners, for loop gets tricky for some people. So do you guys have any doubt? Just ask right now.
I have a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Like we use the for x in the range. Like, is it necessary to always use x? Can we use any other
X is
method?
just a variable. I can
Okay.
use I or Z also. For example, Z, I need to specify Z here also. Okay. Now I run it. See, it's just a variable. Like in for loops in C plus, you used to write na int I is equal to 0, then that semicolon I, then the condition, then I plus plus. Here we are just saying Z, and we don't need to like write also that Z is integer. There's no use to do that. Just simply write for Z in range 6, print Z. That's all. So I hope your doubt is clear.
Yes.
Okay. Any more doubts? No doubts. Okay. Now let's come to a more trickier version of this, nested loops. Nested loop is a loop inside a loop. So I've put in these two lists. I will talk about the list in just few moments. So this is a first loop. This is the outer loop. This is the inner loop. Okay. So it will take the elements of first list and then run it with the elements of second list. I'm running it to show you the example. See, the AMA, what it did, it took a first element of this list X. Okay, X is this, and Y is this, the second list element of this. So it is running with these. Red will first run it with apple, then banana, then cherry. Okay, so uh, you can see first X will run with all the elements of the Y. Then the second value of X will run all the elements of Y by this in this Y. And like this, the third element is running with all the elements of this. So can you see the red apple, red banana, red cherry, big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. So this is a nested loop. It is a loop, and inside this it is another loop. The inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. So outer loop is running like this, inner loop will run with it, each element will run with this outer loop. So do you understand this portion? This is a trickier one. So did you guys understood what I'm saying? Okay, there's a doubt. Raman Shekhawat, in C programming, a for loop accepted condition for the integers. But here, how do we use such conditions? Raman, can you just specify some condition, like so that I can explain you with some like examples? So can you write any condition in the chat box?
But yeah, like for example, in C programming, when we say that, for example, if the integer is say less than 6, then what happens is that the number is print till 5, but 6 is not included, but we can consider it to be less than or equal to 6, and in that case 6 is included. So can we use the equal to sign or something in Python as well?
For right, for loop.
Yes.
No, if we are using the range loop, its parameter is like that. If you want to include 6 now, like for range x in range, like you want to include 6, so you have to write 7. Then no, it's a
Okay.
parameter, like it's already defined like this way. So whatever the value till where it's like, do you know the indexing? Do you know indexing in array?
Yeah, we have learned about that in C.
It's the same in array. The indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but there are 5 elements. There are 5 elements now. But how do we start? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, in the range case also we are doing the same thing. So it's like you're specifying that I want 6 elements, but it's starting from 0. But here there's a catch. Like I can start from 1 also. 1, but the second parameter tells that till the number before this should be printed. That number should not be included. Do you understand my point?
Yes, Priya. Thank you.
So this is how it works. Any more doubts?
So can't we?
Yeah, Sanskar.
Yeah. So can't we use any condition in the for loop statement? Like we can't put any condition.
Like regarding what? Like, no, we can put
Like
condition.
in the like in C we use I less than n, such conditions. Like can't we use in
I less
for
than
loops
n.
in Python?
I less than n. No, you can use, but it depends on the scenario on the code. Okay, it depends.
See, it actually means the same. Like I less than n, you're using range n, so range 0 to n. So like less than n is from like I is equal to 0 to I is equal to n, right? So Python actually simplifies your code. So when you're running a for loop in C or C++, it's like from for, and then inside the braces you like I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. You don't have to do all of that. All of that is done in just this range function. So for I less than, so for all these conditions, all you have to do is range 0 is to n, or just range n. It's the same thing. Like such a simplified code, it does the same condition. Like the condition is same. I less than n is the condition, but you are giving just one letter, range n. That's it. Like it's just to simplify the code. That's how Python works. It's the same conditions only. That makes sense.
Sanskar, is your doubt here, Sanskar?
Yes. So I was asking, can we use in general like any condition inside for
You can
statement?
use it. You can use it. I can show
Okay.
you one demo. Okay, for you, I can show you one demo. Like for range, for Z in range. Okay, if Z is even. Okay, I've cut a condition. It will the range function you understood now. Now it will go
Yes.
through those numbers which are even, and when I run it, see, you can put a if condition also, if else condition, anything you can. If you want, you can add it. No worries about that.
Okay.
Now your doubt is clear.
Yes.
Any more doubts? Okay. Now let's talk about function. Creating a function. You guys must know what a function is, right? A function is a block of code which only runs when it's called. Like range, which we discussed earlier, is a function. Okay. You We can pass the parameters, arguments. You must have known how to create a function in a C language, BPS. Same happens over here, but it's simple way. Def keyword is used to create a function. Def means define. I'm defining a function. My function is to print a hello from a function. I run it, and this is the way we call a function. And if you want to add some arguments, just this is the argument. Print f name plus this something random I've written and run it. ML this. So this is taking an argument and then it's adding this because it's my function. The function, and sometimes we don't know how much the parameter, like here I know like I require one parameter, but sometimes we don't know the number of parameters. So what we do is, I'm sorry guys, what we do is this kids, like it will take kids 0 1 0 1 2 like this. It would take it as a list, and I've indexed it, saying it's like a kid index number 2. The youngest child is index number 2. So the output is the youngest child is Linus. If I would have written 0 and control plus enter, my youngest child is ML. So arbitrary arguments, we just put this asterisk sign because sometimes we don't know the number of arguments. Till here, you guys have any doubt? Guys? Any doubt? No? Shall I continue now? Okay. Now we just talk about string. String is a very easy thing. I know you in string in C you used to like now char. You used to use in C we use char, and then in C we use string. Here we used to do nothing. Just simply declare a string hello world. Okay, and it will get print. But we cannot output the strings like in this way. I cannot like multiple times I can output it. It will only output this. So how to print these two? Print function. Simple. Print function. Not printf, not that exclamation mark and all, nothing else. Just print function. That's it. I run it and see. I've added so many strings like this. The strings are like very easy. Length function is used to find the length of the string. 11. I've assigned as thing digital, and I use the length of it. It's 13. So, is there any doubt in strings? Nope. Okay, let's continue then. Now we come to these three very important topics: list, dictionary, tuples, which I promised I will talk about. Okay, wait. Now earlier when we were talking about strings and last time when we were talking about in for statement, I asked you to assume it as an array. No, but that thing was actually a list. List is nothing, just a sequence in which you can store data, like a data type. We are storing some data, and in the square bracket, it's stored in the square brackets. They can be changed. String is also like a list only. If I want, like you might have no indexing, but string, string like hello world. For example, s is equal to thing digital. Okay, I say print s 3. It's n, but I cannot change it. If I want, I cannot change that n because I've already assigned its thing digital. But in list, they can be changed. Okay, my list is 1 2 3, and in arrays you might have known that in arrays you just put only integer values. but that's not a thing with list. You can put all the data, any type of data types. Okay. For example, my list is a string and an integer and a float decimal and a string. And when I run it, for example, I'm running it. Okay, I'm running it. It will show me this thing. But in an array, it won't work. So list can store anything. And it has a similar function like string. Length is to find the length of my string, which is 4. Indexing and slicing. I hope you guys know about 0, like indexing. 0 in index is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the total length is 5, where the indexing is always starts from 0. So my first element is 0. Now we come about the most important thing in list is slicing. For example, I want to, like, if you can see that I'm doing this up for your understanding, I want to start from my index 1, which is 2, and want to print the elements till here. In C language, you used to write a whole for loop, like I is equal to 1, I should be less than length of an array than I plus plus. Here, nothing you need to do. Here is the 1, which is from which you have to start. Okay, and here we write the ending sense, like ending element. If I put that blank, it means it will run all the elements. For example, I've run it. Okay, so it started from 1. Okay, wait a sec. I haven't run this. Okay, I am running this. I'm reading my list. Okay, my list is 0. Now I run it again. From index 1, it will run 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, because I haven't specified any value at the end. But if I specified some value here, so what will it do? It will grab up to index 3, all the elements up to 3, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will print these 3 things and it won't print these 2. And if, for example, I put 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, it will start from 1. It will print this index number 2, but it won't print 3. So do you guys understood this slicing, which is a very important thing? It comes in ML and all. Do you guys understood? Are there any doubts about list, slicing, indexing? Okay, you want to explain once? I want to explain once again. Okay, Krish, do you know about indexing, right? Yes. Okay. So in an C language, when you used to access array elements of array, like for specific, like you want to print an array, like elements, you want to see the elements of the array, but not one array, but with some conditions, like this array, this element of the array, this element of array, or starting from this element and should end till this element, this element, particular element. For that, you used to write like long for loop statement. But in Python, we use slicing. This colon we use is to grab the element which is at index 1, and since there's no value over here, it will run till the end. And when I run this, see, my index value for 1 minus 1 is 2, and it will run till the end. And if I want to like run elements before the index 3, so 0, 1, 2, this is index number 0, 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So before 3, it will run these 3 elements, and the values will be shown. This is this number specified till what in and show that and run it. Okay, so this is the difference. Now I hope you understand. We are considering the line range function, the number which we used to put like 6. We don't consider 6. We just consider the element before 6. It's same thing is happening over here. So I hope you understand. Okay, you got it. Sorry. Now we can duplicate our list, my list into 2. I have written multiply 2, so the elements will occur 2 times. If I write, I'm running it. The element, you can see it's coming 4 times. So you can duplicate, make the list double or duplicate. It's a duplication method. It's simple, just multiply with a number. That's all. Append function is used to append any value at the end. This is my list. Okay. Now I want to append my value as like the value is added at the end. Sorry. So now if you want to delete an element from the list, okay, you want to delete an element from the list. How will you do that? There's an option known as pop. I'm specifying the index which I want to element I need to pop. I want to delete this element 1. So I write list dot list 1 dot pop 0. So it's running. See, you can see this element has gone away. Okay, and by default it will delete. If I would have given any value, it would have deleted the last value. You can see that, remember, default pop index is -1. In Python, there's one more thing is you can index like access element from right to left. If you want to like access element from the right to left, in other words, from last, you use -1, -2. -1 is for last element, -2 is for second last element. For like this. So if I have written guess, so I popped this element append me and it got deleted. So till here, any doubts? Chris said is, can you hear me now? And is there any doubts still here? Guys, please respond.
Can you explain the -1 part again?
A -1 means last. In C language, you could only like access the elements in an array from left to right, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But what if you want to access the elements from last, from right to left? Can you like visualize it? From last to top, right to left. Can you visualize this? If you want to access the element from right to
Yes.
left, basically you need you used to access the element from left to right, 0, 1, 2, from left to right, or from right to left. So -1 says -1 is last element. From the right side, first element means last element. -2 shows second last element. So this is -1. So
Okay, got it.
okay? Any more doubts? Sorry. Now we come to string indexing. I hope you know string indexing. S is equal to hello world. 0. String is just like a sequence, like a list. So you can index string like this, like S is equal to 0. So it will print the H1. In this case, a letter. That's all. First index of first is E. So till here, any doubts? Till here, we conclude our list portion. Okay. Now we talk about dictionaries. We have learned about sequences in Python, lists, strings, array. What about mapping? In Python, there's a map option called known as mapping. Mapping is like collections of an object that are stored by a key. In dictionary, in simple words, if I tell you, for example, you want to search the word meaning of a word. Okay, so that word is the key, and the value is its meaning, right? This is how our normal dictionary works, right? So same thing is happening here. We create a dictionary in Python using this curly brackets, and this is the key value which in this word, and value in normal terms meaning of a word. If I compare it to a normal dictionary, so this is known as mapping. I'm saying that if this word comes, its meaning is this value one. Key one's meaning is value one, for example. So I'm running this. My dictionary is ready. Now I want to call its value. Or for example, I want to call its meaning of key two, which is according to the value I've assigned is value 2. So this is dictionary. In dictionary, you can store different data types. Like key 1 integers has come, key 2 list has come, key 3 as list of strings. So you can store any type of data types. I just need to run it. Okay. And for example, here this key 3 has a list. Now in list, I want to access any specific element. For example, item 1. So I've written its index because its index is 1. So what I've done is I've indexed the value in the key 3, and I've called the value of the key 3, like you can say I'm indexing a key value, as simple as that. So I run it, and if I see the value of key 3 is item 1, because I put a 1, if I just would have removed this and run straight forward, it would have shown me the list. But I want to access a specific element of the list, so I'm applying index also. So for example, I wanted this item 2. See, item 2 has come. Now there's a method to return a list of all keys present in a dictionary, which is .keys method. As the name suggests, I'm getting the keys. And for values, .values. See, you can see the values have been printed over here. The values are 1, 2, 3. This list is another list, and these are the values. Value here means the meaning, and keys mean a word if we compare to a normal dictionary. So till here, any doubts? Any problem? So shall I continue to our last topic today? This is tuples, which is very easy.
And guys, we know we said this session will be till 7:30, but then because I mean, it's more towards we wanna make you guys understand, so we're just extending it. We'll wrap it around by 8, right, Shikar? Like,
Before it, topic is very small topic. Tuple is very small. Just one basic
yeah,
concept, and it's over. So no
yeah.
doubts,
So
right?
we'll wrap it around by around 8. So I guess, yeah. Sorry for the delay,
Yeah, yeah.
guys.
So guys, in notes, shall I continue? Yeah, I'm sorry guys for delay. So in tuples are very similar to lists. As I have told you, in elements, in lists, I can change the elements. I can add some elements. I can delete some elements. They can be changed, but we cannot do the same thing with tuples. Tuples are built with uh, parentheses instead of square brackets. As you can see, I'm creating a tuple. A tuple is created. This is the length of the tuple. Okay. If I say the length is 3, as you can see, the will like list and dictionaries can mix any two data type strings and digits together. And on it, you can show this. Can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So now you can see the tuple has been shown. Indexing is same in tuple like list. If I want to like do the 0, see 1 is coming, and the -1 part, last element is 2, so it will show me 2. It has some built-in methods to but not as many as the list to show the, if I want to know the index of any element in the tuple, so you use index. Index value of one element, this one element is 0. It is showing us index, and count help us to tell us the number of times a value or an element has appeared. So in this case, I want to know the value, the string 1, which has come 1. Okay. Now let's talk about immutability. This is a just basic and very important part of the tuple. Is that immutability means tuples cannot be changed. We cannot add or assign any different element. Once a tuple created, it's created. You cannot add any data or make changes to it. For example, my T0 was the string 1. I want to change it. There's an error which says tuple object does not support item segment because tuples elements cannot be changed. Similarly, I cannot append any value. I cannot add any value after. See, tuple object has no attribute append. I cannot add or change any values in the tuple. Then you must be wondering, like, why? What is the use of tuple? Why it's created? Like, it's not helping at all. But see, tuples are not used as often as lists in the programming or any like in ML also. Like in anywhere, tuple is not used that much. But sometimes where you are storing some data which you don't want to be changed, then we use tuple. That's it. Tuple is used where you want to store some data which cannot be changed ever. For example, your date of birth. Your date of birth is never going to change. So tuple is used there. So guys, this is all intro to Python. I hope you guys have understood clearly. So today's agenda has been completed.